In this video, we'll be looking at finding the foci of an ellipse given its general form. The standard form of an ellipse has 0 is less than b is less than a. So an ellipse with a horizontal major axis has standard form x minus h squared over a squared plus y minus k squared over b squared equals 1. It has center h comma k. The length of the major axis will be 2a. The length of the minor axis will be 2b. The distance between the foci will be 2c. And the distance from the center to the foci will be c, where c squared equals a squared minus b squared. These things will remain the same whether your ellipse has a horizontal major axis or a vertical major axis. The standard form of an ellipse with a vertical major axis is x minus h squared over b squared plus y minus k squared over a squared equals 1. So let's take a look at an example of finding the foci of an ellipse. We're going to look at the ellipse x squared plus 4y squared plus 10x minus 8y minus 7 equals 0. The first step we want to take is to write our ellipse in standard form. So to do that, we're going to do some completing the squares. So I'm going to rewrite my ellipse in such a way that I group my x's together and my y's together. So I'm going to have x squared plus 10x plus 4y squared minus 8y minus 7 equals 0. So then I'm going to work on completing the squares. First, I see here with my y's, I can factor a 4 out. So I'm going to have x squared plus 10x plus 4 times y squared minus 2y minus 7 equals 0. Now I'll complete each square. So to do that, I'm going to take the number with the variable, I'm going to divide it by 2, and then I'm going to square the result. So here, I'm going to have x squared plus 10x. I'm going to be looking at this 10. So if I divide that in half, I get 5. And if I square that, I get 25. Now I need to balance. Since I've added this 25 in, I need to subtract 25 out. Next, I'm going to look at my y squared portion. So I have y squared minus 2y. I'm going to divide this in half and get negative 1. Negative 1 squared is positive 1. Now I've added in a total of positive 4 because I have 4 times positive 1, so I'm going to subtract out 4. I still have my subtract 7 and my equal 0. So now I have x plus 5 squared. I'm going to group all of my regular numbers together at the end. So then I have plus 4 times y minus 1 squared minus, I have negative 29 and I have negative 7, so I have negative 36 equals 0. Next, I want to add my 36 across. So I get x plus 5 squared plus 4 times y minus 1 squared equals 36. And then I'm going to divide by 36 on both sides. because for an ellipse, I need one side to be equal to 1. So here I have x plus 5 squared over 36, and here I have y minus 1 squared over 9 because of the 4 and the 36, so that equals 1. So next, I need to identify the center and direction of my major axis. So I have x plus 5 squared over 36 plus y minus 1 squared over 9 equals 1. So since we know that our center is h comma k, that means I have center negative 5 comma 1. We also know that 0 is less than b is less than a. So that tells me that this is going to be a squared and this is going to be b squared. So that tells me that I have a horizontal major axis. We can tell this by looking at our standard forms. The horizontal major axis had a squared with the x minus h squared, and the b squared with the y minus k squared. And then third, we need to find C and the foci. So C squared is equal to a squared minus b squared. So we have C squared is equal to 36 minus 9, which gives us 27. So that tells us that C is square root of 27, which is equal to 3 root 3. So to find our foci, since this is a horizontal major axis ellipse, our foci are going to be h plus or minus c comma k. So we're going to have negative 5 plus or minus 3 root 3 comma 1.